Hi future doctors, welcome to the next class. So we were discussing gravitation Kepler's laws. So at the end, we are going to give some extra information on this elliptical path, which is completely related to mathematical terms. Some terms will be related to mathematics. So according to first law, every planet is revolving around the sun in elliptical orbit. So whenever planet is going to be revolving, sun is at one of its focus. This is going to be sun, one of its focus. So whenever this planet is going to be revolving from one position to another position. So already we derived in previous class with one derivation. So we will take, some people will derive like this also. This is completely mathematics terms. If it is theta, it is L, it is going to be distance R. Then, so what is the area of this means? Area of this one is of R into L, isn't it? So this L can be written as, we came to know theta definition. Theta is arc length by radius. Then L is equal to R theta. Then A is equal to half R into R theta. So area is nothing but half R square theta. So this is some, we can write directly also, because area of this sector they are going to write. This is completely related to mathematics term. Now this area is changing whenever this planet is coming here. This area is going to be changed. So rate of change of area with respect to time. So dA by dt. So half R square d theta by dt. So this one we can write it as omega, rate of change of angular displacement. So therefore, dA by dt is half R square omega. So we will divide with mass. So m into R square, we can write it as I, moment of inertia. So I omega, we can write it as, so dA by dt is going to be L by 2M. So this is going to be second law. Next, whenever this planet is coming here, very near to the sun, this distance is going to be R1. So same like this planet is going to be revolving here, means this is very far away. So when planet is near to the sun, this point, so they will call perihelion. Perihelion. Whenever planet is very far away from the sun, this point they will call ephelion. So perihelion means very near to the sun. Ephelion means very far away from the sun. So if it is revolving like this, here velocity always tangent. Tangent we have to draw for velocity. Here velocity v1, v2. In some books they will write velocity at perihelion v p. So velocity at ephelion v a they are going to write. So but here we are going to excuse me. Here we are going to take R1, sorry, this is R2. In some books they will write this is nothing but perihelion means RP, RA. Next, it is revolving by itself, no external torque. Therefore, we can apply law of conservation of angular momentum. So, whenever law of conservation of angular momentum we are applying, so L is going to be I omega is going to be constant. This one only we will write MBR, because velocity and R both are going to be perpendicular, is going to be constant. So at this point and at this point, perihelion and ephelion. So we will write V1 R1 should be equal to V2 R2, because mass of the planet is going to be constant. So this one only we will write. So V1 is nothing but P, velocity at perihelion, Vp Rp is equal to Va Ra. So I will try to write V1 R1. So sometimes they will ask this ratio, what is V1 by V2? So V1 by V2 is nothing but R2 by R1. Next, they will use another term here, eccentricity. What is meant by eccentricity and what is the relation for semi-major axis and semi-minor axis? So in previous class we discussed this is A, semi-major axis. This is going to be B. So eccentricity, they are going to represent 1 minus B square by A square. So another definition also they will give. How they will give means this is center. So from the center, they are going to take this is going to be C. Eccentricity can be defined as C by A. Then C is going to be E. So this C is going to be EA they are going to get because it is left. In some books they will represent minus AE also. Isn't it? Now total distance from here to here is going to be defined as how we are going to take. So total distance is nothing but, so from center to sun, it is going to be C. Correct? Now what is R1? So from the diagram, how we are going to get means from O to this perihelion or planet, this distance, total distance with black color I am representing. So what is this distance we said? That is only going to be A from center to here. This is semi-major axis. So this distance A should be equal to, so from sun to this perihelion, this is going to be R1 plus, so from sun to this point, that is going to be C. What is C we got? C we got R1 plus A. Then what is R1 means? A minus EA. So A common means 1 minus A, important equation in terms of eccentricity. So this is completely mathematics term. So R1 is going to be which distance we said? Distance at perihelion. So near point means perihelion, far point means ephelion. So from the same diagram, what you will get R2. So how we are going to get means again same. So from S to P, what is the distance? R2. From O to this planet, that is nothing but ephelion. P refers planet, here P refers both planet and perihelion. Here A refers ephelion. So from sun to ephelion, how we will get R2 means from center to here. What is the distance? Semi-major axis A. So from here to here, C. Therefore, R2 is going to be A plus C, A plus EA. So directly we can write R2 is going to be A into 1 plus E. I hope you understood what is R1, R2. Now from this equation, V1 to V2. V1 means velocity at perihelion. V2 means velocity at ephelion. So how we can write means R2 by R1. What is R2? A into 1 plus E by A into 1 minus E. So very important equation, 1 plus E by 1 minus E. So by seeing this equation where velocity is more, so at perihelion or ephelion means, so VR is constant. If VR is constant means V is inversely proportional to R. Therefore, if distance is more, velocity is less. So therefore, where velocity is more now, so where distance is less, there velocity is more. Therefore, at perihelion velocity is more, at ephelion velocity is going to be less. According to this equation is saying that information. Because if R is less means velocity is going to be more. So one important relation you got. Now, so what is the velocity? A perihelion, ephelion, V1, V2, or at any point they may ask. So generally they will give, they will ask, or they will give directly in equations only. So how it is going to be related in terms of eccentricity and this semi-major axis. We are going to derive. For that you have to apply law of conservation of energy. Now see, at any one point we will derive, remaining we can write directly. So if you apply law of conservation of energy, total energy at perihelion, total energy at ephelion. So any point we can take any 2 points on this elliptical path. So what is total energy means here? Kinetic energy of mv1 square. What is the gravitational potential energy between sun and planet here? Planet mass is small m. So what is the gravitational potential energy? G mm by mass of the sun by mass of the planet. What is the distance from here to here? Minus gmm by r. In place of r, we will write r. Next, of m v2 square at this point minus gmm by r2. So, just you can rearrange the equation. You can send this one this side. So, before going to send, you can cancel all small m's. So, if you are going to cancel, what you are going to get? v1 square by 2 minus v2 square by 2 is equal to, this minus will become plus, gms by r1 minus gms by r2. So, what is LCM here? 2. You can take common, v1 square minus v2 square. So, gms 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. You can take common v1 square. v1 square by 2 if you want to calculate v1. If you want to calculate v2, you can take v2 square outside. So, 1 minus v2 square by v1 square. So, right side we can write. So, gms r1 r2 is LCM r2 minus r1, correct? R2 minus R1 we are going to get. Now, if you solve this, V2 square by V1 square. So, what is V2 by V1 here? V2 by V1 is nothing but V2 by V1 is nothing but 1 minus E by 1 plus E. Now, in this you can substitute V1 square by 2 is equal to 1 minus V2 by V1 whole square. V2 by V1 whole square means what you will get here? 1 minus E by 1 plus E whole square. Next, otherwise you can do, you can write V2 by V1 in terms of R2 by R1. It is going to be cancelled easily. In easy way, we have to solve V1 square by 2. Derivation is not required for you. So, V2 by V1. V2 by V1 means R1 by R2. R1 square by R2 square. So, is equal to GMS by R1 R2 into R2 minus R1. Correct? Now, 1 R2 will be cancelled if you have taken LCM. So, after taking LCM, you can cancel. Don't cancel previous R2. So, if you are taking LCM, V1 square by 2, R2 square minus R1 square by R2 square is equal to, so GMS by R1 R2 into R2 minus R1. So, 1 R2 you can cancel now. 1 R2 cancel. Now, V1 square by 2, A square minus B square. This is completely mathematical derivation. Actually, it is not required for you. R2 minus R1 divided by R2. So, GMS by R1, R2 minus R1. Some students may think how that equation came. Therefore, just we are deriving. Okay. Now, V1 square by 2. What is remaining here? R1 plus R2 by R2 is equal to GMS by R1. Is it visible? Okay. Now, see here. What is R1 plus R2 from here? How we are going to get means, already we have given what is R1? R1 is nothing but A into 1 minus E. R2 is nothing but A into 1 plus E. So, if you do R1 plus R2, what you are going to get? R1 plus R2 is equal to A will be cancelled, that is going to be 2A you will get. So, one is 1 minus E, another one is 1 plus E. Here we have written R2 is A into 1 plus E, R1 is A into 1 minus E. So, if you add, you are going to get 2A. So, in place of this, we can write 2A. So, if you send this R2 right side, V1 square by 2, R1 plus R2, I am writing 2A in place of R1 plus R2. This R2 if you send right side, R2 by R1 into GMS. What is R2 by R1? Here already it is there. What is R2 by R1 means? 1 plus E by 1 minus E. So therefore, so in place of this R2 by R1, we can write 1 plus E by 1 minus E. So place is not there, I will write somewhere. So you can see by going backside, forward, backward. So, but here we cannot do like that. Therefore, just simply R2 by R1. What we can write? R2 by R1, 1 plus E by 1 minus. Substitute. So, from this equation, V1 square by 2 into 2A is equal to, in place of R2 by R1, 1 plus E by 1 minus E into GMS. 2 will be cancelled. So, V1 square is equal to GMS by A into 1 plus E by 1 minus E. Then what is V1? Root GMS by A into 1 plus E by 1 minus A. This is velocity at where? Perihelion. Now what is the velocity at aphelion? V2. How we will get means with our common sense we can write. So V1 we said maximum, V2 we said minimum. Minimum means, maximum means plus in numerator, minus in denominator. V2 means, how you will write? 1 minus E by 1 plus. So sometimes they will ask this ratio. So whenever they are asking ratio V1 by V2, already previously we discussed. So this is about derivation. In this derivation, you should remember what is R1, R2 equations and V1 by V2 and this V1, V2 in terms of this equation. So if you remember this, if they ask means, this is little bit extra information for us. If they ask means, definitely you can remember, directly you can put. So this derivation is going to be not required for you people.